What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gotians Games, and today's topic that we're going to talk about is regarding the whole microtransaction thing. And this is actually a topic that we've spoken about in the past, and because of the seriousness of this topic, and we're not going to roll the intro or anything like that, we're going to go through this because it's a very, how can I put this? This is a very important subject. It really is a very important subject matter that I think everybody should know about, should be talking about it, should be addressing it. And, as I stated, this is about microtransactions in games, whether it's a mobile game, whether it's a console game, a game on PC, it doesn't matter. And I want to make one thing very clear: the way that I stand on microtransactions and loot boxes in general. And regardless of the games that I play, I am against microtransactions and loot boxes. I don't like them. I don't like the whole gacha system that they have in all these games that they've been putting out like crazy. I don't like it, regardless of the fact that I play them. I play them because I enjoy the games. I hate the gacha aspect of all these games. I absolutely hate it, especially when they throw it in our faces and they make it so much more difficult to actually get what we want out of it, because essentially you're gambling. And so today's topic is actually stemming from a tweet and an article that Kotaku had put out. And so I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera over so that way we can take a look at this. So this is the tweet that Kotaku put out earlier today. It says, U.S. Senator introduces bill to ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions. Now, this, as of right now, me recording this video, has been getting a lot of likes, a lot of comments, retweets. A lot of people are on board with this, and I, for one, am with it. I'm 100% with this. We're going to read the article here. Okay, so U.S. Senator introduces bill to ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions. Now, while I don't agree with the fact that they're using Battlefront 2 as the picture here, I understand why they're using it, because of the controversy that came out when the game got released 2 years ago. As it states right underneath this photograph, EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2 became the focal point of the loot box controversy when it released in 2017. Back then, it was a major deal. Now, when they released the game, they released it without the microtransactions, and they have done major improvements upon Battlefront 2 since the game's release that has made the game actually very, very fun to play, and it's just a much better game than when it initially came out. So with that being said, games can survive without loot boxes and without microtransactions. So back then in 2017, because of the issue with EA and Battlefront 2, a senator, I believe it was a senator in Hawaii, I don't remember the name of him off the top of my head. I stated the name of the senator in my other video that I believe was like almost a year ago. And he had to, or he was the one who first came up with the idea of trying to introduce a bill to ban the loot boxes and microtransactions in video games, specifically ones that are targeting a younger audience. Now, as we go and read through this article, Senator Josh Hawley today announced a bill that would ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions in games played by minors. A broad label that the senator says will include both games designed for kids under 18 and games whose developers knowingly allow minor players to engage in microtransactions. Now, that means, in my opinion, basically every single gacha game that's on mobile phones, every single game that has microtransactions, that is available for children to play. Now, with the exceptions being games that are rated M for mature, I could see that kind of getting by because it's rated for mature audiences. Would I still approve of microtransactions in those games? Hell no. But, you get a win where you can get a win. And if they want to limit it only to M-rated games, if that's the, I guess, compromise or the lesser of the two evils, then that's what we're going to have to deal with. But regardless, this is a great step forward in video games. Holly will introduce the bill, the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act, to the U.S. Senate soon. In press materials announcing the bill, Holly's team brought up the Activision's game Candy Crush as an egregious example of pay-to-win microtransactions, thanks to its $150 luscious bundle. I haven't played Candy Crush in years. $150? Wow. Okay. That comes with a whole bunch of goodies. This bill will also likely apply to a host of online games that feature loot boxes and other ways in which players can spend money for real benefits. Before I continue on with this article, I want to get your comments and your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like, let's have that conversation, guys. This is a big topic, and I want to get the community involved in this. It's a really, really important topic. It really is. I can't stress that enough. Also, kind of like retweet this tweet. I will leave a link below to this article. Share the article out, share the video, get involved with this situation, because it's a big deal. And I do also want to say that there is a thing as good microtransactions versus bad microtransactions. An example of good microtransactions are character skins in, for example, League of Legends. That's an acceptable form of microtransactions because it doesn't affect gameplay. It's strictly there just for cosmetic purposes, which would be to just give your character a new look because you really like that character, so you want to get a new look for it. That's perfectly acceptable. I'm okay with something like that. I am not okay with something like pay to win, or if you want to keep up with a meta in a gacha game, you have to summon for the new characters or whatever it is. I'm not okay with that. When a game is designed for kids, game developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addiction, Holly said in a press release. And when kids play games designed for adults, they should be walled off from compulsive microtransactions. Game developers who knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences. The thing is, when it comes to this, it's very hard to block children off of it. It's very hard because what can you do? Insert your age or your date of birth? I mean, it's so easy to lie on those things. It's ridiculous. If I, for example, went onto a website that's targeted for adults, and if I was a minor and it's asking me to input my age, I could just lie on the year and boom, I'm now over 18 years old and I can access that adult website. So there's no real way to block them from this unless they're going to ask them to put in their driver's license information. But then I think that's kind of overstepping the bounds at that point. Last fall, the Federal Trade Commission promised to investigate loot boxes following a letter from Senator Maggie Hassan that she wrote in the wake of 2017's string of games featuring the heavy usage of predatory microtransactions such as Middle-earth, Shadow of War, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Although some companies have pulled back on the practice, popular games like Overwatch, FIFA, Apex Legends continue to make big money off randomized microtransactions. Many of those games are played by both adults and children. Hawley, I don't know why they have to put his age there, has become known in Washington for criticizing major tech companies. Okay, that's not important. Update. The Entertainment Software Association, the video game industry lobbyist group, sent over statements shortly after this bill was introduced. Numerous countries, including Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, determined that loot boxes do not constitute gambling. We look forward to sharing with the senator the tools and information the industry already provides that keeps the control of in-game spending in parents' hands. Parents already have the ability to limit or prohibit in-game purchases with easy use of parental controls. Yes and no. Yes and no. As a parent who, I have to put on, for example, my Nintendo Switch, parental access so my children can play the games without playing the mature games that I have on my Switch. I mean, easiest thing would be to buy a Nintendo Switch for them and just put parental controls on that. But, I don't have the money for that. But anyways, moving along, it's not as easy as they say it is, because yes, you can put parental controls, but there's always ways around it. And kids are smart these days. They're going to find ways around it. I know myself, growing up, I always found ways around my parents putting parental controls on things. It happens. That's what children do. It's not as easy as other countries might make it seem. Now, in full-on defense, I know, what is it, Germany? I believe it was Germany, Belgium. They went ahead and actually removed the entirety of purchases that are in the game. So, like, for example, Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, you can't make purchases in the game to go ahead and summon on the game. So, taking things away like that would solve issues right then and there. Games would have to then find other ways to make their money, which then, if they wanted, like I said, to go along to the skins option of things, then that is okay by me. I'm not saying, the way that I see it is, if you want to put microtransactions in the form of skins, make it, you pay for the skin, that's it. You're good to go. You bought the skin, good. You're not paying money to then roll on whatever loot box they're going to put into that game to potentially get the skin you're looking for, or potentially get the character you're looking for. Other ways around it is, for example, like the mobile games, which are mostly hero collection games. You go ahead and you just straight out buy the character. Make the new character in a similar fashion to the way that fighting games work, where if you want the newest character, pay $5, you got the newest character. It's not limited to a loot box or anything like that. So you could do the same in hero collection games. Oh, here's a new hero, $5 or whatever. You buy the new hero, boom. Now you have the newest hero, and you can play the game just like everybody else. It takes away the whole thing about pay to win, because, or not the whole thing, but it actually restricts the amount of pay to win, because it's not, you're throwing an egregious amount of money to the game hoping that you get what you want to get, as opposed to actually straight out paying for that character, in a similar sense to fighting games such as Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Fighters, and so on and so forth. So I feel like that's a somewhat of a solution. I could see season passes and things like that. It works. As much as I don't like it, it works. It's an easier way to do things, and a much safer way, in my honest opinion. But that's what I think about this. That's how I feel regarding the whole microtransaction issue. I'm hoping that they are able to pass the bill to this. Honestly, the whole thing at the end, where the Entertainment Software Association, where the lobbyist group was saying that numerous countries, including Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, determined that loot boxes do not constitute gambling. I feel like that's a bunch of people being paid off, because they 100% do constitute gambling. You are gambling. You're throwing your money away into a system where the odds are stacked against you that you're going to get what you want. That is gambling. That's the same thing as if I go to Las Vegas and I go onto a slot machine, put my money into the slot machine, pull the lever, and I don't win. I either lose, break even, and very rarely will I ever get more money than I put in at that moment. And when you look at it and it comes down to it, you actually lost money, even though you won maybe that one time. The house always wins. Odds are always stacked against you. Same thing in these loot boxes. I don't care what these countries say. They are wrong. It sounds to me like they are being 100% paid off. Jason Schreier, thank you so much for putting this article up on Kotaku. It's a good article. It's a very, very real topic that needs to be addressed. With that, guys, thank you so much for watching the video today. I really do appreciate it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. You guys have a great rest of your day. Leave a comment down below. Share. Peace out, guys.